I thought that I would do this video, try to keep it under 5 minutes to give you a update on what's going on with the WBO situation. We're going to save the WBA situation for another video. But when it comes to the heavyweight division, you have Joseph Parker versus Andy Ruiz. That's going to happen for Tyson Fury's vacated title. And guess what? Somehow, some way, David Haye has been ordered to be the mandatory for that title. So listen to this. Joseph Parker and Andy Ruiz don't get a break. So whoever wins between that fight fights David Haye. How did David Haye maneuver this? It's all about the money. Because remember, the bigger the fight, the higher the sanctioning fees. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live with FightView360.com. All the information that I talk about, I post right down on Twitter. So, Joseph Parker is good. He does have some flaws, and a little bit of that was exposed in the Carlos Takam fight. However, that was a big step up, a huge step up in competition for him. Now, Andy Ruiz may not look in the best of shape. You know, they call him fat. They say he's fat. He's fat. Well, he is fat. He's fat. But dude's got some really sharp and fast hands. The issue is mobility and movement. You know? Will Joseph Parker try to use angles on him? Also, in my opinion, if you take out the fact that he's not in the best shape, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, Andy Ruiz is the better boxer. But Joseph Parker is the overall better fighter, if you're following me. Now, if you don't know, Joseph Parker had two ways to go. He could have fought Anthony Joshua. In fact, he was in the running to get that fight. He could have fought Anthony Joshua for the IBF title. But he chose to go the WBO route. Now, let me explain something, because a lot of fans, for some reason, don't seem to understand this. But when you're a champion, you can't be ranked by any other sanctioned body. I'm hearing a lot of people say, and I know I'm supposed to talk about the WBO situation, but I hear a lot of people say, you know, why Luis Ortiz can't fight, or why is he not ranked by the WBO? Well, the thing is, Luis Ortiz, even though he's not anymore, I'm going to save that for the WBA video, Luis Ortiz was the interim WBA champion. So when you're an interim champion, you're basically the champion, and all the rules of a champion apply to you. So if you're, okay, for example, Anthony Joshua can't be ranked by the WBC and fight his way up to a mandatory with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder can't be ranked by the WBA, the WBO, or the IBF. That's just how it is. So when you win a title, you're removed from the rankings of the organization that you don't have the title in. You see what I'm saying? So for some reason, a lot of fans get that confused and they don't know what's going on with that. But there it is explained. The fight is probably going to happen in January. Very likely on HBO, and it's good for Joseph Parker that he's going to be getting some HBO exposure. I know that they wanted the fight to happen in New Zealand, but something with the New Zealand government where they can't get enough money to put on the fight. I'm still doing some research, and for my next video about this fight, I'm going to talk about it. So there's something going on with that where they can't get the proper funding from the government to do whatever they got to do legally to make the fight. So the fight's going to happen over here, and I think it's a really good thing for Joseph Parker, because why? I can understand that he wants to win a title if he does win against Andy Ruiz in front of his people, because technically he kind of is a side. But it's about time for him to get that American exposure, and he already trains over here for the most part. But it's time for American fans to know who he is. For example, me, when I covered Joseph Parker fights, right, and I covered maybe about 4 of them so far. I'm talking about like live. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Philly. So I got to be up 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, you know me. This is all I do. So I don't have any problem with that. But then to watch the fights, not only do I have to go through hell to watch them, because they're in, in New Zealand. What's that, Arena TV or whatever they use over there for their fights? Or wait till it comes on YouTube. So if I get up late or if anything happens, then I gotta wait. Hopefully somebody uploads it illegally to YouTube in a good amount of time. Because imagine, truth be told, these boxers should be grateful, and these promotional companies should be grateful, for YouTube. I can understand when it comes to like super fights, you want to try to make as much money off of the purchases and everything. Like what do they sell? Like off of DVR views and what Blu-ray DVD purchases. Do they even sell those on Blu-ray anymore? But for the most part, if it wasn't for YouTube or Daily Motion, fans wouldn't know who Joseph Parker was. So I think it's good for him to come over here, and if he fights on HBO, then HBO can decide if they're going to pick him up or not. You see what I'm saying? So I'm hoping it's going to be on HBO. But the thing is, Bob Arum is not on the best of terms with HBO, even though he still has fighters fighting on HBO. But I think it would be good for Joseph Parker to fight on either HBO or Showtime. It would be good. So I'm down with it. In my personal opinion, it's a 50-50 fight. And if Joseph Parker is going to win, we're going to have to see all the assets in his game. We're going to have to see the movement. We're going to have to see the sharp, crisp punching. And, we're going to have to definitely, hopefully, see some body work to see if he can break down, the soft body of Andy Ruiz. But once again, don't get it twisted. If you have not seen Dude fight, Dude is good. Dude's got some sharp hands. Now I'm looking. Right now he's what you can say closest to his lowest weight. I believe his lowest weight was just breezing through at 246. And that's a soft looking 246. But at one point in time, this guy was 270, and I believe he debuted at like 300 pounds or some shit like that. But like I said, don't let his height fool you. Don't let his height fool you. Dude can box. Dude can throw hands. And I'm glad that he's finally made it to this point. Because we've been talking about, or hardcore fans have been talking about Andy Ruiz for like fucking 5-6 years now. We used to always say like, yo, he's good. Yo, wait till you see Andy Ruiz, and yada, yada, yada. Of course he's had some setbacks too. But now this is championship level. And the heavyweight division is hot right now. It's good. The heavyweight division is lit. When you think of, for example, Povetkin, Vern, Wilder, Joshua, Price, Tashore, White, Pulev, Klitschko, of course Ruiz and Parker. And I know I'm missing a whole bunch of other names. There's going to be somebody that's going to say, oh, what about such and such? Yeah, him too. And then you got the potential heavyweights. Then of course you got, as I said, David Haye, Kenneth Briggs. You got maybe Tony Bellew, testing the waters up there. You got Alexander Usyk maybe coming up there. The heavyweight division is lit. So now Andy Ruiz, and Joseph Parker. And that's why it's going to be a good, solid, excellent fight. And I'm going to make sure I'm providing full coverage. But we're going to leave it at that. I didn't want this to be a 10-minute video. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. My website, FightView360.com, is going to be launched officially in November. It is under construction as we speak. So all the planning and all that is done. Go to my Twitter page, which is the link right down below in the description box. It's the official Twitter page of FightView360. And basically we post nothing but credible, informative boxing news. We don't post, we don't post no BS. It used to be my main regular page, but now it's a business page. So people want to, it's business now. So if you want boxing information, we make sure that we do the best we can, above and beyond to post and promote boxing. Simple as that. Please subscribe. I'm going to be back doing videos consistently on October the 31st. I know it's a little slow around here. Views are down. Everything's down. Numbers down all across the board. But that's because of inconsistency. So now, got to keep pumping out videos, letting know people that, we're back. We're back. And starting on Monday the 31st of October, we're going to be back full time. Pumping out so many videos, you're going to be sick of me. It's going to make your head spin. And then with the website, that's a whole video within itself. Also, I have a podcast. It's going to be on Mondays between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A lot of shit going on. T-Street Controversy Live.